Hello everybody, my name is Aftermath and it has been a very long day today, but it is not that I will be ending today, because today we are going to talk about one more thing, and I just wanted to say, for everybody who hasn't seen it, we soon will get 2 new heroes to Dota. One of them is the Abyssal Underlord, and that one is gonna arrive first, and the second one will be the Monkey King. Now, the Abyssal Underlord, what can he do, what can't he do? I tried to demo him on the test server. He does not yet exist in demo. He's probably already in the test files, and his skills and his skins and all of that has been in existence for a while, but I can't seem to be able to find it. So I'm gonna open up the Dota 2 wiki now where we know how all the skills will actually look like, since the hero was live on stage at TI. I'm gonna explain to you what he does. The first ability we have is Firestorm. It calls down a wave of fire, basically, that damages the enemy units in the target area and will burn them for damage over time. Similar to how Jakiro's first spell works, but the difference is that it basically lays there for 6 seconds. So the entire duration is 7 seconds, it's 1 wave per second, and if you are in that, you get damage over time for 2 seconds, that also does damage, and that gets refreshed. It doesn't stack, it gets refreshed, and every wave deals 25, 40, 55 or 70 damage, as you can see in the infograph there, and every burn does 5, 10, 15 or 20. It's basically liquid fire put together with dual breath on a location, which is pretty neat. I like it. Good. It consumes a bit of mana, yes, but it is a target area skill that will allow the push or the D-push to happen quite well. The total damage is 185, 310, 435 and 560 before reductions, which is a fair bit of damage for a skill that has 14 seconds cooldown lays on there. So the second pit would be Pit of Malice. Pit of Malice is a pit, so basically it's an arena, and you can set it up, and it's gonna be there for 7 seconds. Now, if somebody runs into it, he's gonna be rooted, not stunned, rooted for 1 second, 1.5, 2 or 2.5 seconds. If you summon it on somebody who stands there, he's also rooted. Now, you can only get stunned once, so if you run out and run in again, nothing happens. If you're a Witch Doctor and you're casting your ultimate, then you will basically be interrupted if he is casting it on you, but if you run in, get rooted, you can cast it after. So it works after, it works basically like a treant in that way. It does disable Blink, Teleportation, Charge of Darkness, Phase Shift, Tricks of Trade, and all of those skills that would usually save you from that. And it reveals invisible units for the duration of the disable, and does 100 damage. So it's basically very good against Tricky. It also has only 12 seconds cooldown, so the downtime of Pit of Malice would be around 5 seconds. Now, we have Xrupiah. Xrupiah is a very nice skill, and NoTel was like, dude, I'm so overpowered, this is so broken in 10v10. It's because every time somebody around, it's basically reverse Elder Titan, right? In your direction, 900 units around you, you have an aura that reduces the base damage by 18, 26, 34 or 42%. And only the base damage, added on damage from MKB, etc. That is totally absolute off limits, but stat damage will be reduced. So it's very good against stat-based carriers such as Slug or Morphling or Medusa. It will be reduced by up to 42%, and if a hero dies close to you, you get 45 extra damage. If a unit, like a creep, dies next to you, you get 5 extra damage, and the attack damage would stay for 25, 40, 55 or 70 seconds. The debuff lingers for half a second, and it will not gain attack damage from illusions, Meepo clones, Tempest doubles, or Tombstone zombies. It does, however, gain attack damage from wards and buildings. So Entropy Aura, basically, if a lot of things happen around you, makes you stronger the longer the fight goes on, the longer the push goes on. Or if you have a big wave to D-push, you get a lot of extra damage from that as well. Entropy Aura also reduces the enemy base damage, which is really important, because that can potentially, depending on what kind of carry you face, be very devastating. Some carries do damage with the kit, the base attack only. Some carries do damage because of items that increase the damage. For example, a sniper would probably not be as fucked by this than a Medusa. A Medusa would go Skadi, Lincoln Sphere, maybe on fucking Butterfly and the BKB, and that's almost all based on stats, that damage. And with those items, she would deal 50% less damage, on top of already losing 10% of her damage because of split shot. Basically, she would become a little bit of a puppy instead of very important. And now we go to Dark Rift, which is the ultimate. The Dark Rift is basically it targets a friendly unit's position, and after a short delay, Underlord and all nearby enemy friends will be teleported to said location. It can be cancelled at any time during the cast, and if it's cancelled in this way or the target unit dies before the spell becomes active, then the Dark Rift goes on cooldown. So you can change this, you can... Basically, it's a whole team red, it's a whole team TP to our unit. It's basically a whole team Boots of Travel level 1. And basically it's basically that's the skill that basically makes sure that this hero is going to be picked up by Alliance and first banned and first picked against Alliance as well. It can only be cast on lane creeps and buildings. Okay, so no friendly units, but still Alliance will probably play it all day. And when you target the ground, the nearest unit at 3,500 radius will be chosen. That's a pretty big radius. And that at least makes sure that you are not accidentally misclicking, or that you need to be very, very careful with it. And it can teleport invulnerable, but not hidden units. That means you cannot teleport a full Mirana stack, a full stack of people that are dusted, smoked. And it cannot teleport illusion, so you can't just illusion up and then rat the shit out of some lane. Yet you can teleport people to Rex if the top lane pushed on and go for a base race and so on and so on. The best use for this ultimate is the mobility. I'm pretty sure it's very amazing for counter ganks, but I have no idea how it will be used by high level players yet. That is for us to see. And of course, when Underlord or the teleport unit Dara dies, the spell is cancelled and goes on cooldown. Good. Well, that's about it. There's quite a lot of things about this hero, and it's very, very important. Well, it is very important to note that the concept art you can see on the screen right now is not quite representative of how the actual hero looks like. The model that was used in TI6 is on the screen right now. That one, yeah, that looks pretty badass. So the Abyssal Underlord does look like a motherfucker. He does look like a blockthirsty motherfucker, and it would be very, very cool to see what comes around with this hero. I personally can't wait for him. He seems to be a little bit more of an early mid-game hero than a late-game hero, but I'm pretty sure that with the right itemization he can become very strong. And, well, let's say, I'm gonna go with, thanks for watching. My name has been Aftermath, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.